I'm Kristen White, host of Mandala. You're invited to join me for some important conversations that will change your life. I'm Kristen White. I'm a mother, an author, a journalist, and a mystic. And the reason I started Mandala is because I had so many questions myself. Like many of you, I wondered, is this what it's all about? Is this really my true life's purpose? Am I meant to do more? Am I meant to be more? And how do I take the steps to get there? It's not something you can smell, hear, taste, or touch, but yet it is very real and it has a powerful impact on your life. It's called energy, and it's found everywhere and in everything in the natural world. Some of you can sense energy, and it has many frequencies. Energy is perceived by our intuition. It is the language of our inner self. In this episode of Mandala, Margaret Ann Lembo explains how to use crystals as tools for enlightenment. Filmmaker Emmanuel Itier discusses his film Invocation and how we speak to God. Gary Quinn turns on our yes frequency. The yes frequency is about the invisible energy behind the words you say and how to harness our intention. And medium Tim Braun helps us connect with our departed loved ones and takes us through a meditation to open up the telephone lines to heaven. Mandala is a tool used for meditation. We're going to invite you to join us for a moment of mindfulness. So pause and listen. There is something here waiting just for you in the next few moments. Quartz crystals have been used as components in technology for years, but now minerals and stones are used as tools for enlightenment and self-awareness. I'm here with a crystal expert, Margaret Ann Lembo, to share with us more about these special stones and their properties. Margaret Ann, thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me, Kristen.
Let's go through some of these beautiful stones and learn more about them.
Okay, how about we start with rose quartz?
Wonderful.
So here's a piece of rose quartz, and rose quartz is a stone that many people are attracted to, especially because it's all about love, kindness, compassion, romance. Everybody wants a beautiful relationship in their lives, and this is a really great stone for helping to attract that, but also to treat yourself the way that you may want somebody else to treat you. And that's important, to start with ourselves first.
I've heard that this is the stone of self-love.
It is.
It's beautiful.
It is. It's a very favorite of many, many people. So another favorite is amethyst. And amethyst is used as a sobriety stone. It's really fabulous for helping to transform and transmute challenging situations. The recovery industry benefits from this very much.
It's a beautiful purple color.
Isn't it? And you know, even having one of these amethyst clusters somewhere around the home is a constant reminder. That's the idea, is to have the mindfulness to go with it, to remind yourself, that's right, I'm in the process of transforming my reality.
Yeah, amethyst, this purple color also is the crown chakra.
It is. That's the highest energy connecting us with the divine, so we can align with the divine, and that's even a good thought form to hold. I'm aligning with the divine.
Yeah, I love the purple in this.
Yes, yes. You know, green aventurine, much like jade, but this is a green aventurine stone, and it's like the good luck gemstone of the gemstone kingdom. You know, black tourmaline. Many seek out black tourmaline for deflecting negativity, for grounding, for staying focused. You know, a lot of us are scattered because there's so many things to look at, you know, between social media, the list goes on and on. This is a great stone to hold on to. I often use it while I'm writing so that I can stay focused on what I'm doing and not be distracted by emails coming in and who's calling me, etc., and just keeps you on target.
So focus and absorbing negative energy.
Actually deflecting.
Deflecting,
so that we don't even have to. Yes, it is a shield. It's a good shield, you know. Let's say in combination, this row right here of the green stones with yellow stones and this beautiful clear quartz, very special clear quartz crystal, these would help one align to speaking your truth, being careful in how you protect or set up your boundaries, and so that people, you know, respect boundaries, and also invite more prosperity and ease in communication.
Wonderful. Margaret Ann, thank you so much for being here with us and putting together this beautiful crystal display. And I know myself from working with crystals that they work and that they're a lot of fun.
They are a lot of fun. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Who is God? It's a question that's been asked since the beginning of time. And I'm here with filmmaker Emmanuel Itier to talk about that very question in his movie, Invocation. Emmanuel, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thanks for having me, indeed.
So Invocation, you spoke with some of the world's great spiritual leaders about God.
Right. Well, it's basically, I think it's a reflection we all have, what is God, what is oneness? And whether you have a Deepak Chopra, Desmond Tutu, or the Dalai Lama, these are the answers you want to get from these great men. And that's what we did. For 3 years, we went all around the world, over 30 countries, 5 continents, interviewed 300 plus people, from Desmond Tutu to Deepak, to the Dalai Lama, to Michael Beckwith, to also movie stars such as Oliver Stone, Mark Wahlberg, Sharon Stone, who is my partner and who did the narration. And we really try to explore the notion of God in a very, very, very open way. So from quantum physics to religion, spirituality, and without trying to box ourselves in, always having an open path like behind us to figure out how that works. What is oneness? What is existence?
So was there any one singular interview or a couple of interviews that stood out for you?
Yeah, I mean, Desmond Tutu was amazing. I went to South Africa to meet him. Such a warm soul, such an amazing, inspiring, inclusive man. And he really had a couple of interesting notion and quotes. And one of them I remember was saying, I don't understand all this war of religion and all this fight about God, as if God needed somebody to defend him. It is God. It doesn't need you to fight for him. So why are people so obsessed about their own religion and wanted to push their religion and their agenda, when really, if that is that superpower and powerful, it doesn't need you. We are just silly creatures. So, I mean, Desmond Tutu was definitely, I think, the wisest. Had such a sense of humor, because that's another thing. We try to put some humor and we try to de-dramatize that exploration, because it can become a very serious subject and very boring. We even put a puppet in it, Puppet G. So we have a puppet making some interesting reflection on God.
Did you find any similar themes? Like, you interviewed these people and a lot of people said similar interpretations.
Yeah, that it's, notion of God is really love, energy, oneness. So I even went to the Vatican and interviewed a priest, and nobody told me ever, oh yes, it's a guy in the cloud with a big beard and he's looking at us. So why that illusion that we think it is indeed a dude in the cloud looking after us? Maybe because of the representation, starting in the 10th, 11th century, the church tried to illustrate what God would be. And so they asked to Leonardo da Vinci and other big painter, draw God. You will remember, obviously, the famous picture about God and man touching each other's fingers. Well, God is represented as an old man with a beard. And that was it. And we've been living with that representation and that explanation for 3,000 years. So I think now it's time to evolve, and if anything, I mean, it doesn't make sense, because I remember I interviewed Jean Houston, the famous thinker, feminine thinker, and she was telling me, if anything, why would God be a guy? You guys are just barely providers of some little seed. We are the creator, we are the one who deliver the baby. So if anything, it's a goddess, it's not God. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's interesting,
So what is the role of prayer, and does God answer our prayers?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think we answer each other prayers. If I ask something from you, you might say, oh, well, okay, let me think about it, and come back and say, okay, well, it seems reasonable, maybe I can help, and vice versa. But I don't think if you kneel down 5 times a day, or you're going to church every day and every second, and you ask God, please help me, nothing's going to work.
There is some web that ties all of life together.
It's within us, and it's within every single person that we meet.
The greatest voices for peace through history have been very deeply spiritual and faithful people.
Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. all of these people marching for peace together at the exact same time. Humanity. It's remarkable. It's magic.
The journey into self-realization and discovery begins with a desire for connection.
Share with me some thoughts on oneness from some of the people that you interviewed that still resonate with you. Just a couple of them. A little montage, if you will.
A little montage. Well, again, I mean, definitely Desmond Tutu always, telling you that you are the agent of change, and the Dalai Lama said the same thing, that again, don't wait to be saved, do the saving, lead, become a leader, be involved. The final sentence of the invocation is, let's become peace in action. And I think it sums it all, meaning that you have to wake up, you have to stop being lazy, stop waiting, take your life in your hand and go do the work. Go do find your own peace, your own salvation. Don't wait for somebody to take you by the hand. Really do yourself the taking of somebody else's hand. So that's what you have to get from watching our movie, I think, is that how complementary we are from each other, how we can really figure it out. I always thought that if really 7 billion of us would wake up every day thinking, hey, I love you, what can I do for you? Things will change dramatically. The problem is we are not educated like this. We are still educated at waking up every morning and figuring out how we can control each other and take from each other and dominate each other and sometimes in certain circumstances kill each other. And that's why we are failing as a humanity. We really need to wake up thinking, I love you, I'm gonna help you, I'm here. And that's it, everything will change. And it will, I mean, that's what, the teaching is from Michael Beckwith, Desmond Tutu, Deepak, they're all telling you that you really have to embrace that life and change it. Don't wait for Deepak to save you or Michael. They are just here to awaken within you this feeling of wanting to be part of life and change it yourself.
Emmanuel, thank you for making the incredible films that you do.
Thank you, and there will be more coming from us.
Absolutely.
Peace and love, everybody.
Peace.
I love you!
You may not realize it, but your words have power. They have such a strong force that they can impact your life, your health, and your relationships. Well, I'm here today with author Gary Quinn to talk about the power of our words and the yes frequency. Gary, thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So, you have written a book about the yes frequency. What is the yes frequency?
The yes frequency is really a tool to give yourself the permission to activate a catalyst within yourself to really move forward and know that whatever is happening in your life, you can transform that and create whatever it is that your true heart's desire is. And I think so many people out there are dissatisfied where they are in their life, and I think it's up to you to really take the responsibility to activate it.
I think that a lot of people don't realize that they have the permission to say yes to themselves.
Absolutely. We sometimes forget because we give away our power, or we find out that life hasn't really dealt the cards that we thought we were going to get. But I think what we need to do is we need to start to trust again, and we need to start to believe in ourselves. And I think there's not a lot of truth going out there in the world. There's a lot of negativity and fear. And I think there's only two choices. It's really activate that love and that self-confidence inside. And the yes frequency just helps you to align to that.
What about frequency itself? The word frequency, what does that mean in this context?
Frequency is like an energy. So
Right.
we all are an energy, but how do we define the excellent frequency as opposed to the negative frequency? And when you're around negative people, you feel icky.
You feel icky, yeah.
So when you're around, if I put you around the Dalai Lama for 2 weeks, you'd go, oh my God, I'm buzzing.
Would be
I'm
levitating.
flying. Well, right. So if we all walked in that kind of mindset, and that's what I teach, is really to elevate your consciousness to become it by living it, speaking it, thinking it. And I think part of the problem is people don't believe that it's possible. And by saying yes to life, you're really giving yourself the permission to start all over again and have the faith to know that you can do anything. It's possible.
Gary, what if people feel like life just says no to them? I mean, there are people out there that are like, life has said no to me. I can't get what I want. It's never going to work out. Everything feels like a roadblock or a no.
At that point, step one is to say, I believe that I can transform my life. See, because the magic words are I believe, and anything in life is I can, I will, and I have the possibility to transform. So I think once you start to say yes, and it's changing and breaking the old habit of 25 years of negativity, that's a hard one to break. So it takes 30 days, and I've had clients who have started to say yes 1,000 times a day in a 7-day period. Transformation happened because they opened up their heart as opposed to thinking in their mind, because the mind is limited thinking. The heart energy is an opening of bringing in a new beginning. And in every moment, there's a new beginning if you look at it that way.
We were talking about this before we got started, that even though you say yes, yes doesn't necessarily mean now.
Right. And if you say yes, let's say, for example, someone says, oh, we want to take a trip around the world.
Right.
And you say yes.
Let's go tomorrow.
but the opportunity is your schedule is full.
Right.
Instead of saying no, you say, you know, at this point, I choose not to travel right now, but I would love to take that trip around the world with you. Keep me on your mailing list, or check back with me in a couple months.
Right.
You're not saying no, but it's about the correct language, and I call it the language of miracles, that you're learning how to speak in the now and not speaking in the past or speaking in the present, in the future. You're speaking 100% in the now, which transforms your immediate life. So if nothing is happening for you out there in life, then that means you have to be 100% in the now, saying yes, giving yourself that permission, and you might need to forgive.
Right.
Because forgiveness is, in any spiritual teaching, is the catalyst to open the portal. Because you might be angry with your family member, your ex-boss, your ex-spouse, your ex-partner, whoever. Get rid of the anger of the let's say, stress that you put on your body, and say, I forgive myself. I forgive whatever happened. And that's a hard one for people because they are not so necessarily open to forgive.
What I really notice is that if you spend your time looking at the past or worrying so much about what might happen in the future, then you're not really in your present and you're not paying attention. And if you're not paying attention, sometimes divine opportunity is so subtle.
Right.
It's just so subtle. It's like a whisper. And it's like, if you're not paying attention, you miss the whisper.
Totally, you miss the wave, and that's why you have to open your awareness, and you also have to be intuitive to tap into your intuition. And everybody has intuition. You've thought of someone and they call, and I love the universe, how amazing it is. My whole life has been this magical opportunity to think of something and I create it.
Right.
Many years ago I saw the movie Life is Beautiful, and I said, I want to meet Roberto Benigni and I want to work with him. And there was no opportunity for me to do that.
Right.
And I was sitting in the movie theater and I said, I believe that it's possible. 2 weeks later, my Italian friends from Los Angeles took me to an event. He was there. He came to me he came to me like a magnet, and I said, "Ciao, Roberto, come sta?" And he said, "Oh, Gary." We had this amazing connection, and I ended up giving him a private session later on. But it was magical, And I think everybody needs to know that they have that power to create, no matter what it is, however small it is. It could just be, I want to open up to more love. I want to have more friends. I want to heal my body. I want to create my perfect opportunity. And I think that's the key, is that you have to believe it now. It's your time. Everyone out there, it's your time. And you've got to do it and move it and not wait any longer.
I know when my intuition was opening up, originally you're a little frightened because you're like, is the loud booming voice coming? Am I going to have a vision of, someone standing there in the room who's a ghost? But it's not really like that. It's more subtle. It's just a sense, and you feel it or you hear it. And I've noticed also that the spirit world uses a lot of symbols. So there's a lot of metaphors, that's that language. So as you create that dictionary around it, you begin to understand what's coming in.
And I think it's just taking the attitude of practicing
Right.
and saying, oh, I'm seeing flowers around you. What does that mean?
Right.
Well, it could mean you're going to have a birthday party or there's a big nice surprise coming. You're
Right.
like the weatherman.
Right.
And you have to tune in and say, oh, I'm feeling the initial J that's coming to you. And, you know, it's almost when I first started, I've been intuitive since I was a kid.
Right.
And I've looked at things and I sometimes have to be careful because I see a movie downloading, but I've learned how to master it because it's practice like anything else. And I think it's important that people open up. I mean, now's the time. The consciousness has shifted worldwide, and I've seen it around the world in the last 10 years. In each country I go to, I see the consciousness keeps going higher and higher, and I think that's amazing. And I think all of us in our communities, in our homes, in our families, we have to consciously help other people open up.
Absolutely. Gary Quinn, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
being
so
here with me
much.
today. We all know that the ones that we love at some point will die, and it is such a traumatic and tragic experience in our lives, and oftentimes it can be difficult to move beyond that deep loss. What if we could get a telephone call from heaven? Well, I'm here with medium Tim Braun to experience just that. Tim, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
So let's talk about the afterlife. I mean, that's just a big mystery. So as a medium, do you see the library of records? I mean, what does it look like?
Well, and that's a very individualistic question, but on average, when a person passes over, within 10 seconds, within the first 10 seconds of passing over, you'll see all the good that you've done and you'll see all the bad, all within 10 seconds. And most of us, mostly all of us, when we pass over, we want to try to fix the bad. And you know, we can say, oh, I gave $1 million to the temple, or I gave $1,000 over here to the church, I did it, I was this, I was this. But we don't focus on that. We focus on the things that we made the mistakes. I hurt that person, I insulted that person. And when we're on spirit side, we want to fix it. So sometimes when people see ghosts, and sometimes people see people in their living room or whatnot, sometimes that is that person really trying to come through and trying to make amends or make some healing. I've seen that happening many, many times.
I do think that's an important part of it, the proof, because people do have some skepticism around being able to communicate with our loved ones who have passed on.
Yeah, I have done over 14,000 individual sittings, and people say, how do you know that you've done over 14,000 individual sittings? Do you have a little ticker taper, in your office? And I'm like, no, I've been doing this for over 18 years, and ever since I started, I've always been 3 weeks to 4 weeks, always solidly booked. And so I've done a lot of sittings. And so when I do my work, I'm such a professional in my work. And so when I sometimes bring through a person off the right shoulder, it could be a father. I'll say, gosh, I really feel it's dad's brother. And then the client sometimes will say, no, I think it's my dad. I'm like, no, let's get the proof. I'm seeing the uniform. I'm seeing the decapitated ankle. I'm seeing more diabetes. That's not my uncle. That's my grandfather. So then we have that proof that that person's coming through. But I always look for the specifics when I do my work in order to give my client the most possible connection to spirit as they can feel.
So you raised something that's pretty fun, and about ghosts and hauntings and all of that. Is that real?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But when I do my work, I always start with a 2-minute meditation, and I always close with a 2-minute meditation. The reason why is I want to put a lot of white light, God's white light. If you don't want to use the word God, you can say spirit. If you don't want to use the word spirit, you can say the word universe. But I put God's white light around the room, so only higher evolved souls come in, like a loving mother, like a good father. I'll tell you one instance, I put that white light around the client. I saw this man coming through, and I went like this, and she goes, "Are you okay, Tim?" And I said, "Yes, but something doesn't feel right." And she goes, "Well, you can continue on." Well, I continued on. I got the man's name, how he died, when he died, all within about 3 minutes. And I said, "Do you mind if I don't, continue on with him?" She said, "Yes, I'm fine with that. That was my Uncle Harry, and he molested me when I was a child." And so that's a person who came in that's on a lower level, but that person wanted to say, "I'm sorry," wanted to say, "I messed up. I don't know what I was thinking." We were able to get that healing across to that client, but I know when there's good energy that's coming in, and I know when there's bad, and when there's bad, I don't let it in. So getting back to your question with ghosts, yes, those are spirits that are around, and they're trying to make contact with us. There's some that are good, there's some that are not so good.
Tim, thank you so much for coming here and sharing.
Oh, it's been my
with us
pleasure.
today.
This has been fun.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So Tim, you start with a meditation.
Yes.
Would you like to lead us in that?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, perfect. So just with your feet on the floor as they are,
Okay.
and with your hands, facing up,
Okay.
and your back is straight, is perfect, and with your eyes closed. Okay.
Okay.
So basically, with that being said, just imagine this golden ball of loving energy, what I call Spirit's white light, and just imagine that ball of energy going through the bottom of your feet, and past your ankles and past your calves. Continue to bring that ball of energy, Spirit's energy, past your knees and thighs, all the way to your tailbone turn the color of red. Any tensions, any fears, any worries, just release those energies and just let them go away now. Continue bring that ball of energy up the spine, all the way to the navel, turn the color of orange. And again, any worries, any tensions, any fears, again, just release those energies and just let them go away now. Continue bring that ball of energy into the stomach area, turn the color of yellow. Any anxieties, any angers, any tensions, just release those energies and just let them go away now. Continue bring that ball of energy on the heart area, or the heart chakra, turn the color of green. Any place in your life where there's lack of love or even absence of love, just replace those energies with love, with unconditional love, and let all other energies go away now. Continue bring that ball of energy on the throat area, turn the color of blue. Anything that was said or wasn't said, any regrets of saying something or regrets of not saying something to someone, just release those energies. Release those tensions. Give yourself permission of forgiveness and just let them go away now. And lastly, just take that ball of energy under the forehead, turn the color of indigo, and at this time in your own mind, just send out loving mental thoughts to those on Spirit's side, and with love just ask that they'll be here with us today, sending love and protection and guidance. And with that being said, just take that ball of energy straight at the top of your head, and as that ball of energy goes at the top of your head, just imagine it turning into raindrops going over your shoulders, over your back, over your chest, giving yourself a spiritual cleanse. Okay, perfect. And you can open your eyes.
I like that.
Thank you.
A mandala represents the circle of your own life, the past, the present, and the future. The patterns and possibilities are endless. How you create your mandala is completely up to you. Was there something in our conversations today that inspired you? Often, all it takes is one word, one thought, or one concept to completely transform your life. I invite you to create a new design for your life today.